Hello, this is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Rambone. We have a major dilemma here in the United States. I am an investigative journalist and I use myself in traps. Unfortunately, I was captured in a trap in Arizona under their Title 36-520 law. Arizona's Title 36-520 law. It says basically that your writ of habeas corpus, which was basically one of our inalienable rights, is now gone. We are left on our own. In 2001, Arizona passed a Title 36-520 law, allowing people to be forcibly injected and forcibly detained under the whims of pretty much anyone in the government. The writ of habeas corpus was written so we would not be illegally detained, and now nothing is mentioned about us being forcibly injected. They call you insane, and they call you insane for the rest of your life. My gimmick was, I called a Sheriff Jack Tillman stealing. On 4/3/2001, he took my gun permit when I was going to report his thievery. However, he stopped me from going. The federal government had been putting pressure on me after I had been investigating a murder at the FDIC, my former employer, where I was terminated. Did you know that I was at the FDIC in Honolulu at a bank? My boss, a female boss, who wasn't real friendly to me during the Honolulu bank exam, who was not a very good teacher in my opinion, but I went along, asked me up to her room. Why would I not go? She wasn't beautiful, I won't say, but she wasn't ugly. Let's take it. Look at me. I'm Mr. Clean, right? I'm lucky if I can get the bag lady down the street, but I don't pass up opportunities such as this normally, but I feared people at the FDIC. I met a serial killer named Randy Kraft years ago. He tried to get me to drink, tried to get me to go to a hotel room. I didn't either. But here's this woman wanted me to come up to her hotel room and supposedly do a, quote, assignment. I had been put in a mob boss's bank earlier to issue a bank charter. I'm sure that's what he was. It came over from Nevada to California. He smelled it, wrote it, and the boss and the whole crew came along for the FDIC. At least the crew that put the paper stamp on after the other crew had left. Yes. So don't forget that. Inalienable rights. We have lost the writ of habeas corpus, meaning the right for our bodies to be basically free from being detained. We've lost that. And instead we have Arizona's Title 36-520 law. If the government has put you on probation for gun ownership, such as they did me, on 4/5/2001, that's about when it really started, after you had survived an attempt in your life, and after a thieving Sheriff Jack Tillman had taken your gun permit on 4/3/2001, less than a month later, I was arrested for owning guns, traveling, and in fear. The Mexican warlords on the West Coast will set you up. The German warlords on the West Coast will set you up. All of them will set you up, including Little China. Chapter 36 laws. What? Title 36-520 law versus the writ of habeas corpus. Look it up. This is Kurt Brown, alias Saint Rambone. You are not safe. I'm urging people to send one child out of the United States. Since we do not have human rights, we could have trouble in the United States. So what? I've already been knocked unconscious. What did they do to me in 2004? I had done nothing. I was simply reporting a burn on my neck. And I wanted to have my vehicle tested for radiation at the Flagstaff Medical Center. Title 36-520 law in Arizona allowed them to forcibly inject me and detain me. Simply because they said I spoke quickly, but I know in fact, it's probably the Treasury Department's Secret Service putting the pressure on me even further. They try to discredit us. Look at Sheriff Jack Tillman. Look at the dead veterans, also in Los Angeles, using experiments. Look at me, a best FDIC bank examiner trained in medicine and finance, thrown out of the FDIC like nothing, simply because I filed an EEOC complaint. I had more complaints, but I didn't want to be forced to go up to somebody's hotel room to get a passing grade It wasn't I was afraid of her ass. I was afraid of her needles and her drugs and those things that stay in those hotel rooms underside the FDIC management hood. As one comedy, I would like to put FDIC man up. I want to put 3 ripples, a hood. He'll be the broken FDIC man or something like that. Yeah. Right next to Sheriff Jack Snatch, a fairy possum. I have had some traumatic things. I make jokes. I make jokes because I don't cry about what's happening to many of us. This is Kurt Brown, alias St. Rambone, saying, I think we need to bring in the Senate, the President, and the Congress, and consider them perhaps criminally insane and have them forcibly injected under the Title 36-520 law in Arizona. Or perhaps take them to the Los Angeles VA Medical Center in Westwood and have them injected and used in experiments there. Be in fear, ladies and gentlemen. We are no longer safe in the United States. This is Kurt Brown, alias St. Rambone, saying, look it up. Mobile Audit Club. Mobile Audit Club. Mobile Audit Club.